Hi, and welcome to the concluding lecture on the white box scene. So we've pretty much done the white box scene now. Just go over a few things that I did and compare with yours. If you remember, on my notes, I said, let me just have a look at the notes. Raised roof on hut. Well, I did that. I did it about a metre, and it didn't look great. It looked rubbish, actually. It looked odd. Took it back down to half a metre, and it still wasn't right. So I took it up 30 centimetres in the end, and even though that's quite a small, subtle amount, it works really well, and you can tell it's up, but not to the point where it looks a bit ridiculous. It feels more balanced now. And the window to the top and the door to the top, it feels it feels good. I'm really happy with that. So 30 centimeters up on that. I also had to hire these poles 30 centimeters by the same amount, so I did that too. The other thing I did over here on the left hand side was to organize my objects, and you can see I got lights, rocks, trees. I even put those flagstones in their own little folder, and hut objects in their own folder. Anything sort of related or around the hut that wasn't in any other folder, I put it in its own little folder, and that way it keeps it all organized. I know where things are, I can find it. And if you don't do this, this is what it looks like. So if you open them all up and expand them all out, it's a nightmare to find anything. So it's good to keep them all organized like this. So just keep them like that. And it's just nice and neat, well organized. And anybody else taking your scene will be able to see where objects are too. So it's really important. If there's multiple people working on your scene, then make sure it's organized. Okay, and finally I populated it more a little bit. So let's have a walk around the final scene. White box. It does what I wanted it to do basically. So I get my composition, it looks really cool. I put the statistics up there on the top right of the screen so you can see, and I can't point to it because my mouse is controlling the camera. I don't understand some of it, to be perfectly honest, and audio really is irrelevant, but graphics, tries, how many triangles it's rendering at any one time. I don't think it ever peaks. It just peaks over 200,000 triangles when I'm looking in that direction, probably because it's quite dense. So it's rendering, obviously the terrain is full of triangles, and the objects, that way, where there's not a lot behind those rocks there, 99,000, that's pretty reasonable, and it's staying, the frames per second is staying well above 60 frames a second currently. I think when we get our high detail objects in and all the textures are rendering, that will change, I think. But we'll start using things like prefabs and do things that will optimize it in other ways. So, and you can see I sort of put these rocks down. It's just I think it's a nice scene. It just gives us, it's well organised, it's spacey, it feels good to walk around it. If I was playing a game and I came into here, it would be right. I can go upstairs, I can go inside. There's no collision on the door, and that's why I can just walk through it. And I didn't fix that, but I will do. And there's a bit there on the floor too. So, it feels good. It was perfect, in fact, and so I did that. I sort of moulded the terrain a little more. I created this path, and over in the corner here I put the little cave. If you look on the original map, the top left corner is a little cave, and I sort of started to build this because I got carried away. And you know, once the textures is on, that's populated more with more stones and gravel and bits of wood and things, you know, you can get a nice little cave going on here. Once it's all the shadows baked down, it'll look really cool. And there's the rest of it, which I've not done anything with really, but like I say, I may do that as an added bonus, or just finish up the rest of the terrain. But you can see these trees are going to look pretty cool once we get all the branches and all the foliage onto them. They will look very good. So there we go. And if you're wondering, the reason why some of them look sort of lighter than others, the trees, is because I had my auto bake on, and I switched it off because it was, like I said before, it was grinding my PC, so I just turned it off. We don't really need it at this stage too much, but you can see some of the shadows are quite blurry here, and that's because they're baked. They're baked down onto the terrain, so that's why that's happened, just in case you're wondering. So one more thing, if you know, at this point in development, you can, you know, make some really big decisions. You know, is this, you know, the artist will look at it, creative director will look at it, the art director will look at it, the designer will look at it, and they'll make some calls as to whether the scene is working for them, either visually or from a design perspective. Is it working? Does it do its job? And if not, you know, we might move this hut, or we might change some of the terrain, move some of these trees, depending what comes out of those meetings and discussions. You know, this could well easily change at this point, and this is the reason why we do it. So it's a good base to start your really high detailed geometry from. I'm not going to make any changes at this point, but I'm just pointing out the fact that when you get to this stage, you know, some of the team leads and management can make some pretty important calls. Yeah, so that's cool. And even add to it. You know, you might want to add more to this scene. Might see something that's actually stands out to them, and it's like, oh, that could be cool if it was like this or like that, and sort of add to the scene. So it's good. It's a good process to get used to, you know, going through this white boxing, because it reveals so much. Okay, so that's it for now, and that's the white box done. So I'll see you in the next section.